Okay, we're going to start with the given. All right, so we're going to start with that, and we're going to go from there. Okay, we've been given the figure with the right triangle, triangle MAE. Triangle MAE is which one of these triangles?
Biggest one.
The biggest one. Okay. Then they tell us that side AN is what?
It's perpendicular.
Perpendicular to line segment ME. Okay, so where is side AN, or where's line segment AN?
Right there.
No, it's not in the bottom.
It's a vertical.
Okay, I'll take that. It's this one, right? And they said it was perpendicular?
Yeah.
Are they showing that in your figure?
Yeah.
Yes, they are. How?
Because it's like they're you know.
What's your symbol?
This square.
This square. Okay, very good.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's hitting at that 90-degree angle. Okay? Now, remember this is the right triangle altitude theorem. Okay? So, side or segment AN is the altitude. If you're a pilot, the altitude means what to you? It is the height, okay? So the altitude is the height of your big triangle. So he is the height. Okay. All right. Then they go on to tell us that the measure of angle M is 70 degrees. Okay. So we go and we find angle M, and he is 70 degrees. Okay. All right, now remember you have how many triangles in here?
3.
3. Okay. And remember that everything has to fit together. Like the puzzle, the pieces have to fit together. So now what I want you to do is I want you to go down to question 1, and I want you to find those 3 angle measures for me. Okay? Okay, so let's see what you came up with. The measure of angle MAN. So that is this little tiny one right here. So if you're looking only at that little small triangle, what does MAN, angle MAN, have to be? It has to be 20, right? Because what's the measure of angle N again? That is your 90, right? Remember, we're working with 3 right triangles. So what are we back to? We're just back to 180, right?
Yep.
You know the two of them, you can find the third. Okay? Angle EAN. So that's the rest of angle A. Well, what is he?
70.
He's 70. How do you know that?
Because it's the rest
why?
of angle A.
Rest of angle A.
Yes, and it's a right thing.
So what are those 2 angles called? Complementary. Excellent. Thank you for that. All right, measure of angle E. 20. How'd you figure that one out?
Yes.
Yeah, you're just back to the, now you're back to the big triangle, right? Okay, you got measure of angle M is 70, the measure of angle A, there's your 90. And so E has to finish out the 180. Okay? Any questions on that? Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to take all 3 of our triangles, and instead of just looking at one picture, because it can get all jumbled up, we're going to rewrite all 3 triangles kind of off to the side. Okay? Now, when we do this, and when you do this for these problems that we'll be working on the next few days, you're going to always write them where your right triangle is going to be at the bottom left. Okay? Let me show you what I mean. I'm going to start, you always start with your original or the big one. Okay? I'm going to start with my big one here, so I'm just going to draw him like this. You can follow along with me. Okay. And I'm going to put my right angle here. So, right now, for my purple, my original or big triangle, my 90 degree is up at the top, right?
Yep.
So, what did I do to get him down at the bottom? I did a little transformation. What did I do? What did I do?
Rotation.
Thank you. I rotated him. Which direction did I rotate him? To the what?
To
the left. So we did a counter, right?
Yep.
All right. So remember the vertices move with me. So A, I know, is my 90. Now, what's going to be at the bottom? What's going to come over here? Think about your rotation. What's this vertex going to be?
20.
That's going to be the M, okay? So then that leaves this one to be your E. Okay. Now, we're going to do the one on the right. He's kind of the medium-sized one, so we'll make him green. So let's draw again. You're going to draw the same thing, just a little smaller. Okay, what is your 90 degree vertex on this one, your middle size one, the one on the right? What are we going to label the 90? N. Okay. All right. Now, here's the trick to these, okay? We are going to go back to when we did congruency as well as similarity. We're going to go back to using our reflexive property, okay? And remember, so I'm just going to come down here. Remember those last ones we looked at like this? Where we had like triangle ABC, and then we had the other little one, triangle DBE. What was unique about this angle right here? Yes, it was that shared angle, right? And remember that was our reflexive property from congruency. Okay? This is the trick you're going to use to be able to set up the two inside ones. Okay? So now, okay, we're looking at the green one, the one on the right. Which angle is reflecting off of your original angle? So it is the E, that is the shared one, okay? So, here's the trick. Look at your original. You see that E is on the top, that top vertice, that top vertex? He'll go on the top with that one. And that's your reflexive property. And then down here, that leaves you with your A. Okay? So that's your reflexive. Okay. Now let's draw our little left-sided one there. Draw him the same way. He just a little smaller. Again, this one is, what's the 90 degree for this one? It's still the N. That's going to happen every time. There's another pattern you can follow. Now we're looking at the left-hand side. Which angle is going to be reflected off the big one? Which one's the clean one? M. Okay? So M is the one that's going to be reflected. He's on the bottom. Move him over to the bottom. And then A goes on the top. Okay? So that is also a reflection, so he's also been reflected. Okay. So once you draw your original, you have it placed, you've rotated him to where he's situated, then you use that reflexive property to help you draw the left side and the right side, or the middle and the small. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go down and we're going to take a look at number 5.